So welcome back. We want to do two things in this short lesson. Number one, we want to help you check and understand your Excel settings so you can make sure that they are properly configured for maximizing the view in Macabacus. The second thing is we want to show you some optional additional features in Maximize View that you can use to get even more out of your monitor if you wish. Let's jump in and take a look. So what we're going to ask you to do is perform a little test. If you could please go over to this cell down here where it says yes. We want to see whether or not you can see the formulas in that cell. So if you go in here and tap F2, check whether or not you can see the formula. When we tap F2, like right now, we actually can't see the formula. So we need to change our settings in Excel. So if you can see the formula in there when you tap F2, your settings are fine. But for us, we can't see it. So what we're going to do is tap the Alt key and now F for File. And now we need to go to the bottom left here, T, where it says Options. Now we go down the left-hand side to Advanced. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that this setting here, Allow Editing Directly in Cells, is checked on. Once you've checked that setting on, please go ahead and click the OK button. Now when you're in the cell, you can tap F2 and you should be able to see the formula, just like this. Now that you have that configured, you're free to work without the formula bar. And in fact, these Maximize View settings are the ones that we recommend in Macabacus. So now you're all set up to work properly without the formula bar. Now you may be interested in taking things a step further. So the first thing that we want to do is tap that shortcut, Control-Alt-Shift-W, just to unmaximize the view. Now let's check out the Macabacus settings. So let's head back up here to the Macabacus settings, configure, down the left-hand side to interface. And now we want to check on hide ribbon and also maximize upon starting Excel, which will always maximize every time we start the application. Now we can click on OK, OK to this dialog box, and we can give these settings a test. So now let's hit the shortcut Control-Alt-Shift-W for Maximize View. And what you can see is we have a lot more screen to work with now. So this gets us a lot more screen to work with, but one of the things to keep in mind is just try tapping the Alt key. You'll notice that it actually doesn't work. So we don't have access to the Alt key, we don't have access to the ribbon when we're in this kind of mode. So many people find this is a little too much. And in fact, for us, we prefer to use the Alt key sometimes. So let's hit Control-Alt-Shift-W. Just to unmaximize things and pop back into the settings and set them the way that we recommend here at CFI. So let's pop back into the settings really quickly for one last time. Settings, configure. Down the left-hand side here to interface, we're going to recommend here that we uncheck hide ribbon and also uncheck maximize upon starting Excel. If we click OK here and OK to this dialog box, these are the settings that we recommend here at CFI. I hope that you enjoyed those settings for Maximize View. We certainly do. And it's certainly a lot less expensive than buying a larger monitor. That's for sure. Let's jump ahead into the next video. We'll see you there. So the Explorer pane gave us a great inventory of everything that's in this Excel file. And it's given us a little short list of potential areas of concern. We're going to start investigating those, starting with the Hidden tab and also the Buried tab. Those two tabs in particular, we want to make them visible and then give them a quick audit to make sure that they're not connected in any way over into the working parts of the model. Let's jump in and get that process started. So let's imagine life without Macabacus for a moment. It's easy to do. We can go up to the Macabacus section of the ribbon and right here, just click on pause. Are you sure you want to pause Macabacus? Let's click OK to that. So the software is now paused. So we obviously can't see the Hidden or the Buried tab. Let's go down to here where we can see the four tabs that are visible. If we right click, we have an unhide option. Let's click on hide. Problem is, we're only seeing the Hidden tab right here. We don't see the Buried tab. That's because the Buried tab has actually been hidden or buried using VBA. So we would need VBA to uncover it. Sometimes these buried tabs are referred to as very hidden tabs, and they do require VBA programming to bring them back up so they're visible. Let's just click cancel down here and then go back up to this section of the ribbon and click resume so we can restart Macabacus. So what we want to do now is open the Explorer pane. So Alt-U-E for us, and it opens up. We can use the mouse and just right click over the Hidden tab and say Unhide Sheet. Same with clicking on the Buried tab, right click, Unhide Sheet, and they're both visible. Sometimes when you encounter hidden or buried sheets or little areas off to the side of a financial model, they're usually not connected into the model, but sometimes they are, but we need to be sure. So what we're going to do in this case is we're going to select this area and we're going to show all dependents and show all precedents. If there are no precedent cells and no dependent cells, then that means that this particular area is not connected to the model in any way. Let's check that out. So if we're using a native copy of Excel to either trace precedents or dependents, we can only do one cell at a time. With Macabacus, we can do multiple cells. So we're going to go up here into the trace section, and we have show all precedents, Control Alt left square bracket, and show all dependents, which is Control Alt right square bracket. We're going to utilize these to test this section and whether it's connected to the model. So let's go over here and click on this buried tab and click on the used range so we can see the area that's being used by the person who built this. Now we're going to select this area all the way down like this. Control Alt right square bracket, which is show all dependents, and it shows us that there's no dependents outside of this range. Now we can see up here, if we click on trace, we have the ability to clear arrows here with Control Alt backslash. So let's hit Control Alt backslash to clear the arrows. To be thorough, we should probably show all precedents. So Control Alt left square bracket shows all precedents, none outside of this range. So let's now clear the arrows, Control Alt backslash, and they're all cleared up. Now that we know that there's no precedents or dependents for this area, we can delete the sheet. So we can do that using a keyboard shortcut, Alt-EL. Excel is asking us if we're sure, and we're going to say delete, and it's all gone. So we can use the same procedure here for the hidden sheet. We just click on the hidden sheet. We want to check the used range to see the scope, and then we can select these cells and click on Control Alt right square bracket to show all dependents. And we can see that there's no dependents outside of the range. So we can clear arrows, Control Alt backslash. So now let's check all precedent cells. So Control Alt left square bracket shows us all precedents, and then clear arrows, Control Alt backslash. Now we can delete the sheet. So Alt-EL, and we're going to say delete, and it's all gone. So the Explorer pane was really helpful. It enabled us to see that hidden and that buried tab and also bring them up and make them visible again. Then we were able to quickly show all precedents and show all dependents just to make sure that those areas weren't in any way connected to the rest of the model. Once we were sure that they weren't connected, we went ahead and deleted them. Let's go on to the next video and check out that used range on the input sheet, which is a little larger than the print area. That seems a little bit suspicious. Let's check it out.